Hi, I'm Mike Avang, and I am a trainer on the TxDOTCONNECT project, and I'm going to be demonstrating some new functionality today in TxDOTCONNECT for construction milestones and the Ready to Let checklist. Helping me out today, we also have a special guest, Janice Hillenmeyer.
Hey everyone, I'm Janice, and I work in the Transportation Programs Division Project and Portfolio Management team as a scheduling support supervisor. Glad to be here with you today.
Awesome. Well, we're lucky to have you, Janice, and I'm really looking forward to showing this functionality with you. With that said, let's take a look at the Milestone page. The Milestones page in TxDOTCONNECT provides users a centralized location to track and view their project milestones through each phase of the project lifecycle. Here in the milestone table, you can see 4 tabs, each corresponding to a project phase. There's project scoping, project planning, final development, and of course the post-let phase. So after getting a look at this layout, Janice, what do you think of how it's organized?
What I really like about this layout is that it really gives you insight to what the project development schedule is through all phases of the project's development. The milestones in each tab match the milestones in the schedule guide for transportation projects. These tables provide a quick view into the milestones driven by a project's P6 schedule without having to actually get into P6. This is especially useful for those who aren't in the weeds with all the details of the project schedule and want to quickly view up-to-date schedule milestones for a project.
Well, that is awesome. So let's go ahead and check out some of the features with this new page. You'll see on the left-hand side your milestone column, and that'll list all your milestones for that phase. One neat piece of functionality here allows you to rearrange or to group your milestones by simply dragging and dropping them right here in the table. And next over, we've got our comments column, allowing you to leave additional information or any extra details about outstanding work on a milestone. And then really importantly, we have our baseline date and our plan date right next to each other here in the milestone table. And those will automatically update from P6. And if you're working in a controlling project, you can cascade your milestone information down to subordinate projects in TxDOTCONNECT with the press of a button by simply hitting the cascade toggle in the upper right. Now, having all this information and these features in one place is pretty neat. How do you think planners might benefit from this, Janice?
I love seeing both the baseline dates and the plan dates in this view. Being able to compare the baseline dates from your P6 project baseline to your current P6 schedule plan dates is especially useful to make sure your project is on track towards ready to let. I also really like that you can add comments about the status of a milestone. That could be really useful if a plan date is coming after a baseline date to explain why, or even what is being done to get that milestone back on track.
Yeah, I love that you can make those kinds of comparisons with this consolidated view in TxDOTCONNECT. Now, in the final development phase, one of the final milestones before a project goes to letting is the Ready to Let milestone that you'll see down here at the bottom of the list. Well, it just so happens that the Ready to Let checklist is also coming to TxDOTCONNECT with this release. So let's go check it out. The TxDOTCONNECT team developed the Ready to Let checklist based on the Ready to Let definition for construction projects as defined in a memo to the agency from Bill Hale. Managers can use the checklist to confirm their project is sufficiently developed for letting. Now at the top of the page, you'll see the project details, and below that, the checklist. Now Janice, as you look at the checklist, what catches your eye off the bat?
So the Ready to Let checklist provides more details than just the project milestones. So a project manager can really ensure that all the tasks required for being ready to let are completed before that Ready to Let milestone is actualized and the project moves into the Ready to Let stage in TxDOTCONNECT.
Yeah, I like that it's a checklist that users are already familiar with, but we're also getting, some extra functionality to help better manage that and see it all in one place. For example, if you need to indicate that a task is not applicable to your project, you can simply check the not applicable box. There's also an outstanding work box that, once that is checked, allows you to enter a resolution date for when the work will be complete. And of course, once a task is complete, you can indicate that by checking the complete box. And if you need to leave notes or any additional details about outstanding work, you'll have a comment box to describe just that. So now that you've seen a few of the features of the checklist, Janice, how do you think planners might benefit from this?
I love that it's a visible way in TxDOTCONNECT for project managers to identify which tasks may be outstanding to get that project to ready to let.
Well, that is wonderful to hear, and we can't thank you enough, Janice, for coming on today and sharing your perspective with us. That concludes the construction milestone and ready to let checklist demonstration. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today.